Hello and welcome back to another Lord of the Rings live stream. We have not done one of these in far too long, but we are back. We are actually going to go back in time a little bit. I have been playing through progression style. My next progression, hey B Snow, how's it going? Yeah, Lord of the Rings, it's exciting. It's finally happening, and we're back to the tiny font on the screen. So let me fix that real quick. Well, I knew that wouldn't. That was the issue, is Lord of the Rings. That's the issue right there. But welcome everybody. Hobbit font. Yeah, that's exactly right. Sorry. I love it. But yeah, so we're going back, and Astari is actually the mastermind behind this idea. We are going to play through the core box as well as the Dark of Mirkwood. Sorry, I realized I just hit transition right there. The Dark of Mirkwood campaign. And so we're playing campaign style. So we will be, sticking with the same heroes. If we do switch out heroes and we need to increase threat, we are allowed to change our deck through each game. But I have constructed a deck that I want to see how far we can actually get. So we are going to start with just the original scenario, the passage through Mirkwood, the one that we all know and love. We'll see how far we get tonight. I'm expecting a minimum of 2 games, but we may get to see some more. My guess is that we will have to tweak the deck slightly for Dol Guldur because of the reputation that has. It's a brutal scenario. I played through it a couple of times, and I got close, but it's so dependent on card draw with this deck, and I just wanted to see if I could get through it. So we may need to sack a hero, unfortunately, when we get to there. I'm hoping we don't before that. But let's talk about the deck, because I haven't played Lord of the Rings in a while, so let's go ahead and explain it all. So Arkham Horror, I played the 3 main LCGs: Arkham Horror, Lord of the Rings, and Marvel Champions. For Marvel Champions, I'm kind of up to date with everything new. Arkham Horror, I'm playing through absolutely blind, and so the first time that I stream a scenario on Arkham Horror, it's the first time I'm ever seeing the scenario, and so it's a lot of failures, a lot of fumbling through. And then Lord of the Rings, I'm playing through progression style, and again, this one's a little bit differently, but I do construct decks specifically for the scenario, and I build specifically for that. Beast no. Carol guy is so pumped. Absolutely. Apparently my font change was not enough. I don't know how I can just make these the same across all of them, but we'll figure it out eventually. So yes, so let's talk about the deck. So because I construct these decks pretty much scenario specific, this one is going to carry us through a couple of scenarios at least. Let's talk about it. So the campaign is special. So this came out with the new revised core set. This was not a chat box for ants. Yeah, right. Hopefully. Oh my goodness, why is it still so small? I may not be messing with the right setting. That must be it. Font settings, font size. No, I mean come on, that has to be it, right? It's hilarious. I have no idea what I'm doing over here. Okay, we'll just go to as high as we can. Of course, that playthrough. Now you're interested. Yeah. So that's exactly what we're doing. Maddie, we are. I put it up at it's max, so hopefully that gets us there. Nelson, is that sleeve colored? This one is. This Mindor is, and I just gave you the hint of the first hero. But yes, I do have Mindor in a colored sleeve because he is just backed by backed by an East Blight patrol. So some of the not customs, but I don't have the revised core set, and so what I did is I printed out all of the cards needed, and then I created my own cards with them. So yes, it is a colored sleeve. It's the Emerald Dragon Shield. So I have these. I also have the Crimson ones for all the custom Marvel Champion stuff, which I hope to dive into at some point in my life. But yeah, okay, so the campaign, Passage Through Mirkwood, Each in the revised core set, they came out with all of these like campaign guides and like different ways to alter the game. And so we are playing in campaign mode, so we put Mindor into play. And if Mindor leaves play, we lose the game. And so we have to protect our ally here. Looks emerald, that's why yeah, I think it is. It may be emerald. It's a really pretty one. It's a really pretty one. But Mindor is our ally that we must keep alive at all times. He has the range keyword, which does not mean a whole lot in solo play. He's a 1-1-1-3 ally. And the first player, which is going to be me, gains control of Mindor. And then after a quest card is defeated, ready Mindor, and then each player draws one card. And I'm going to be honest with you, in all of my playthroughs, I have forgotten that rule. And so if I forget that, someone yell at me, please. But it's at least like I'm playing harder. I'm not playing in easier mode if I forget to draw the card. So, and then if Mindor leaves play, remove him from the game. And then our quest card does say that we lose that. So we do start with one ally on the table. So let's talk about the deck a little bit. So this is a deck that kind of has to do a little bit of everything because we are going to be going through multiple scenarios. So Passage is kind of the intro scenario. It's not a pushover scenario. You forget that same. Like I literally just read that. I was like, oh yeah, okay. I completely forgot about that. But yeah, so the Passage through Mirkwood is not really a pushover scenario. So we're basically going through, we're questing. It's a pretty low quest threshold, and on every single one of my practice games, I've drawn the 3A. So you determine 2 3A paths, and I pull the one with where I have to defeat the Ungolith spawn every single time. So I'm guessing that now that I haven't practiced against that one, we won't draw it. So yeah, so we're going through this, then we'll go through Journey through Anduin. We're not planning on making any changes to the deck between at least these two scenarios. We may need to make some alterations for Dol Tagore. But let's talk about the heroes. Yeah, the stupid spiders. Hey, boss dear. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well. Everything going good? Okay. So we are going to be running, it's actually a dual sphere deck, so I'm kind of excited about this, but we are going to be running with the classic Eowyn, coming in at 9 threat, and really she's here for her questing prowess. And so she has a willpower of 4, which really helps us push through a lot of these quests, get them through as quickly as possible, especially in Anduin, because Anduin really has, some questing needs. And then if like her other stats are kind of irrelevant, honestly. Second, and I am playing with cards through the second Hobbit box, which I don't quite remember what that one's called. It's not Overhill, Underhill, it's the other one. I'm sure someone in the chat knows that. I should have looked it up beforehand. But anyways, so the second hero that we are running with is Elrond. So Elrond is a 13 threat, so he's a really high threat hero. However, he is very, very good on doorstep. Thank you. Yes, thanks, Astari. I appreciate it. The 13 threat hero with a willpower of 3, a attack or a fight value of 2, and defense of 3 with 4 hit points. And you can spend resources from his pool. Everything was great. And then spiders. Oh no. Are you restarting your playthrough of the scenarios, or what's your plan? Hey, how's it going? Hey, so I am actually doing I'm not going to play through all of them, but I am playing campaign mode through the core box, and then as well as through the Dark of Mirkwood pack. And so the next 5 games will be like the quote campaign mode, using all of those special rules with Mindor, and then the boons and the burdens and all of that. And then after we finish that, we're going to hop back into On the Doorstep. So that's kind of the plan, but I hadn't been able to play the Dark of Mirkwood pack, and so I'm excited to get this out and try it. So, and plus I've been playing campaign through the other one. Hey, thanks for the sub. I appreciate it. Yeah, so we'll see how it goes. I'm excited, but yeah, so Elrond, you can pay for any ally with Elrond's resources. And so he's really strong, but really he's in here because that gives us access to Villia, and we will go over what that is here in a second. And then also he has a neat ability that says after a character is healed by another effect, heal 1 damage on it. And that is pretty crucial here in campaign mode because we cannot let these heroes die. So whereas in a standalone scenario, sometimes it is worth sacrificing some of your heroes there towards the end, you don't want to do that in campaign mode. So he does bring that. And then last but not least, we have Glorfindel, Spirit. And so he's here because of the low threat, because we're running pretty high already at 21 or 22 with Elrond and Eowyn. And then yeah, I hope to see more Lord of the... Yeah, it has been a while, so summer is pretty busy where I am, and so I've cut down to 2 days a week. However, in about a month I will be ramping back up and we'll be doing all 3 games. But going forward for the rest of the summer, it's going to be Marvel Champions and Lord of the Rings, and then we should roll Arkham back in once the next cycle drops, and then it's past the summer. So hey, your Glorfindel is different than yours? Yep, it's also a different color. But yeah, so Glorfindel, Spirit Glorfindel is a bomb card. He's a 5 threat. He has 3 willpower, so 3 questing ability, 3 attack, 1 defense, 5 health, and then it says after he exhausts to commit to a quest, raise your threat by 1, and that gets mitigated by a card in the deck. And so Glorfindel is probably one of the strongest heroes. These are probably 2 of the strongest heroes that I have in my kit, or in my box right now that I've opened so far. And like, I really wanted to get Spirit or Lord Aragorn in here, but I just couldn't find space for him. And so Eowyn does help with that. And but yeah, so that's it. Let's run through the deck real quick. So Vilya is paired with Elrond here, so it gives him the Spirit resource, and so we're flush with cash and Spirit once we get Vilya onto the table, and then the ability is to exhaust Elrond and Vilya and play the top card of your deck for free. And so excellent ability, stupid strong, probably what I've been told is probably one of the strongest combos in the entire game throughout its existence. So since that is so critical, we're only running 2 copies of Vilya because we do need to grab it fast, but I did not have a whole lot of space in this deck. We are running 2 copies of Master of the Forge, who allows us to search the top 5 cards of our deck for an attachment and then put it into our hand. And so we can either draw into Vilya or draw into Master and hopefully get those pretty soon. There are also a lot more attachments that are coming in that Master will be useful after we get Vilya. We got Stargazer, who allows us we can exhaust her and then arrange the top 5 cards of our deck in any order, which allows us to basically set up for insane Vilya turns. And so if you really want to throw Steward, right? I don't have any leadership out here, but I can play a leadership card using a Vilya effect. So maybe I want to throw Steward on there in the top. Let's talk about our allies. So those are some of our allies there. We've got Warden of Healing, so to capitalize on Elrond's effect of doing extra healing. We've got Arwen, who allows us to quest and raise defense. We've got 2 Northern Trackers to clear out some of those nasty locations that have some bad wind travel to effects. Arwen is an excellent ally. 100%, I totally agree with you there. So Arwen, she's just so... yeah, on theme too with Elrond. Yeah, that's very true. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, so she's just so super solid. 2 cost for 2 quests is, I mean, really good already. And then she has that great ability to give that extra defense, which is coming clutch in some of these practice games. We have Bofur, who I have not actually seen in any of my practice games, but just giving that a little bit more quest potential, mainly for Journey. So the second game, because we're going to be needing to quest a lot more in that one than we are in Passage. And so Bofur is going to help us get there, but basically it's you can spend 1 resource to put him into play committed to the quest, and then if you succeed, then he comes back to our hand. But if you fail, or if you fail, then he stays on the table. We have Gildor, who I really like to put into play to get expensive cards from my hand on the top of my deck. So basically he looks at the top 3 cards of your deck and you swap one of those cards with one in your hand, so it helps you to draw into something, but also can set you up for some pretty sweet Villia turns. We've got Gleowine to draw some cards, Hemomoth to take a look at the top card of the deck, which helps us understand how much we need to quest for. We've got the Rivendell Minstrel, and I should have put this in here, but really we only have one song in this deck. We have one copy of Song of Kings, just because we are splashing leadership just a little bit, and so Song of Kings allows us to get some cards, or get some resources in there to pay for those, and so that's in there. And then Rivendell Minstrel tutors the Song of Kings, but even without the tutor, she is pretty good. Once she's entered play, she does have that 2 willpower. We've got 2 stand and fights because allies are very vulnerable in these couple scenarios. Dwarven tombs are basically, I consider them wild cards for Test of Wills, and then we're running 2 copies of Hasty Stroke. So it's just flexibility. We can go fish and grab what we need, and I always like to have one of each of these in my hands, especially for some of these nasty, like, deal 1 damage to every exhausted character, or deal 1 damage to every character is one of the shadow effects. It's just brutal. Running 3 copies of Elrond's Council. So if I control a unique Noldor hero, which I do, I control Elrond and Glorfindel, I can give another character +1 willpower and then lower our threat by 3, and that's a 0 cost. Excellent ability. We got 2 unexpected courages. That's going to go on Elrond, so he can actually do something after he's used Villia. 4 snares for the Ungulus spawn and all of these hill trolls that we're going to be facing tonight. We've got Galadriums, which is going to help with that threat because we are starting pretty high at 27. And so right off the bat, the Forest Spider will engage us if we don't have some way to mitigate that. We got Ancient Matinth. I always have a hardest time saying that word for card draw. As Falleth. So if this is attached to Glorfindel, you can exhaust it, or it to place 2 tokens on a location. Light of Valinor, here's the card that Glorfindel loves. Attached to a Noldor or Sylvian hero, and then the attached hero does not exhaust to commit to a quest, so that basically right there takes away Glorfindel's negative ability. So it's after he exhausts to commit to a quest. You're no longer exhausting to commit to the quest, so you have really good card, really good. And then also Master does tutor this. Not necessarily tutor, but tutors for him. We got Steward. Here's our splash of leadership. We got Steward and 3 sneak attacks for our 3 core Gandalfs. I did not run a Overhill Underhill Gandalf, but I did run 3 copies of the original Gandalf because we wanted to get just that high impact damage, and we don't really need a lot of additional questing, especially once we get light on here. Then we're questing for basically 7 to 8 every single round. So didn't feel the need to get the Overhill Underhill Gandalf. And then Word of Command. So a lot of these cards, or a lot of this deck, does rely on pulling out some pretty cards, and so there's a lot of ways to like search for them and get there. Word of Command is definitely the easiest and most flexible. So where is Sneak Attack? Sneak Attack's in there. I'm running 3 copies of Sneak Attack. Don't worry, I'm running 3 copies of Sneak Attack for the Gandalf. So it's just such a powerful combo. So we can play that once we get Song of Kings. And kind of the idea, the strategy is going to be get Villia ASAP. Villia helps you ramp so quickly with Elrond. So try and get that out as soon as possible. I pretty much will mulligan the hand if I don't have a Master, a Stargazer, or Villia in it. It's got to be a really good hand for me not to consider. Or to consider keeping something that doesn't have those 3. And then we'll throw Steward on Elrond, and then at that point, and Song of Kings, at that point he has access to every single sphere that we're running. and so he gets pretty strong pretty quickly, and protect him at all cost. If we lose Elrond, we have to rethink the entire campaign because this deck's kind of built around him. But yeah, so I have missed this game. This game is so much fun. It's so difficult. I love it. I love how difficult it is. But I mean, it's just so incredibly fun. Alrighty, so flies and spiders. I remember the first time I streamed this. That was so much fun. Flies and spiders. I think this was actually the first thing I ever streamed on Living Card Gamer. Is this scenario? It may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it is. Just nostalgic, right? So you're traveling through Mirkwood Forest, carrying an urgent message from the king, Vanadril, to Lady Galadriel of Lorien. As you move along the dark trail, the spiders gather around you. So set up. Search the encounter deck for 1 copy of the Forest Spider and 1 copy of the Old Forest Road and add them to the staging area, then shuffle the encounter deck. And flies and spiders. The nastiest things they saw were the cobwebs, dark, dense cobwebs with threads extraordinarily thick, often stretched from tree to tree, or tangled in the lower branches on either side of them. There were none stretched across the path, but whether because some magic kept it clear or for what other reason, they could not guess. The Hobbit. So, we got 8 quest points here. We have a starting threat in our staging area of 3. So let's see what our opening hand is. So we start out with 6 cards, and if we don't like it, we have to mulligan all 6 of them. So let's see. Okay, so we got a Rivendell Minstrel, which is nice because we can get that Song of Kings if we need it. Sneak Attack, Leowine. I like the hand, but if everything that I need, if Villia is at the bottom of this deck and all of my masters at the bottom of the deck, it's not worth it. It's not worth hanging on to. So we are going to mulligan this hand. And hopefully draw into it. Being able to drop Villia first turn is so much fun, especially because you won't have Stargazer on the table or anything, so you don't actually know what you're gonna play. You just kind of like, it feels like just like a random, like, oh, let's see what happens, and you just go for it. But Mindor is squishy. One thing that I will say about this is do not take undefended attacks without a hasty stroke in your hand. All right, so we got a Forester, we got a Light of Valinor, which I love seeing. We got a Song of Kings. I don't know if I could write a better hand. I mean, I probably could. I don't need Forest Snare here, but I mean, Light of Valinor, Song of Kings, Elrond's Council, Villia, and Ancient. I mean, this is solid right here. This was an excellent mulligan. So, oh, perfect, sweet. Okay. So during the upkeep phase, which is the start, we actually get to draw another card, which is a Word of Command, which doesn't do much for us now because we don't have a Gandalf, but it's so nice because ideally we're not going to need to engage this Forest Spider at the start, which this deck is set up to take care of, so we may go ahead and just optionally engage them, but okay. Well, we can see that. Everyone gets a resource. It's payday. Mindor is the worst, right? Yeah, this second draw, time to jump with Mindor. Yeah, bring in the Marvel Champions, the strat from Marvel Champion. Yeah, chump block with the ally that you need to keep alive. If he dies, he dies. We lose. You know what? I'm okay with that. Oh man, yeah, I am happy with this second draw. Okay, so let's start out. We're gonna spend these 2 resources here to throw Villia onto Elrond, and the reason that we're doing those 2 is now Elrond does have the Spirit resource icon now, so his resources are most flexible. So let's go ahead and do that ability to play the top card of the deck, which is Unexpected Courage. I feel like I almost stacked the deck. I definitely didn't, but this is huge. I love throwing Unexpected Courage. I can't pay for it, but I will. Oh wait, no, I just did. And so we'll just use Unexpected Courage to ready Elrond at that point. So huge, huge. Oh, you love to see it. You love to see it. Oh, yes. Okay. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and play Elrond's Council, which will lower our threat by 3. So that'll take us down to 24. And then we're going to go ahead and give Eowyn a +1 ability right now. And we're going to go ahead... I'm not going to play Light of Valinor at this point. I'd rather use one of these, and I don't think that I'm going to need Eowyn. I don't think I'm going to need Glorfindel's questing at this point. I don't necessarily want to push right now, because I do want to build up before we get to stage 3. Stage 2 is very, very quick, so just want to be careful there. So let's go ahead and quest with Eowyn for 4, actually 5, because of Elrond's Council. And then we probably could toss a Forest Snare. I don't love doing that, but we probably, actually, honestly, we could probably toss a Word of Command if we needed to bump that up to 6. And then we will also go with Elrond, because I do plan on traveling to Old Forest Road, which will allow me to ready one character I control, which will be Elrond, which will be the blocker here. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and do the quest points. I forgot what button. What button did I do? Not that one. Okay. So that is up to 8. Nope, 8. Yep, so 5, 8. So we've got 3 showing. We're going to flip a 2. Okay. So that's 5 total. So we're going to go 3 on the main. We'll go ahead and travel to Old Forest Road, which will allow us to ready Elrond. And then we will optionally engage this spider. We can optionally engage 1 enemy each turn. So we'll go ahead and do that. The Forest Spider is going to come in. He gets +1 attack until the end of the round, which I'm not super concerned about, but we'll go ahead and block with Elrond when the Forest Spider is attacking for 3. Shadow, choose and discard 1 attachment from the defending character. Ah, that's tough, but we'll lose Unexpected Courage. Now I'm really happy that I drew that, because that would have been very sad. But so 3-3 defense is fine, and then we'll swing back with 4, which will leave it with 1 health. Okay, so we will ready up. The end of the round, we will increase our threat to 25. During the resource phase, we all get some money. Draw a card, which is Gleowine. I like seeing her. Okay, so now let's go ahead and spend 1 from Eowyn to throw Light of Valinor onto Glorfindel. 1 from Glorfindel to play Ancient Madden onto the Old Forest Road to get us some card draw. And then we are going to hang on to these resources instead of throwing them onto Gleowine. Yeah, I'm good with that. Okay, so I really do want to kick this out. I do wish I had Himmomoth to kind of see what was coming, but we don't have that luxury. So let's go ahead and go 3. We can quest with Glorfindel without exhausting, so that takes us to 7. We'll go 8 here, and then we have a defender and an attacker. Hopefully we don't flip something that is going to engage us. If so, then we'll audible at that point. So that's going to take us to questing of 8. We're showing 2. We're going to flip up, show 2 more, and so 4 gets through. 3 goes here, 1 goes to the main. So we do clear the Old Forest Road. Ancient Man triggers for 3 cards. Hey, there's Gildor. Ooh, huge. And the Minstrel. Okay, so I don't really like the Minstrel. She's a little expensive for what I have right now, but I do like seeing Asfaleth. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but it's a good pull right there. This is going to be annoying to take care of eventually. I I think the strategy is just to quest hard as foul off. I think I'm at least I'm getting close. Yeah, I think we're just gonna try and stay under 35 and then over quest on those guys for a while until we can get some Gandalfs to take some sniper shots at them. But okay, so we are attacking, and we're not going to engage anything. We're going to have an attack coming in for 2 plus a shadow card. We're going to defend with Elrond here. Shadow effect, deal 1 damage to each character the defending player controls. I hate that shadow card. I am really glad I defended, or else it's 2 and that gets really hectic really quickly. It's also not the worst time to draw it because we don't have any like allies on the table, and it's nice that like we didn't have Gleowine or Rivendell Minstrel on the table at the time. But nothing gets through, so we will swing back with Glorfindel for 3, which will take out the Forest Spider. Alrighty. I didn't Villia that turn. That's probably fair because I still had this threat to take care of, but wonder what it could have been. I guess we'll see here in a second. Okay, so end of the round, we will ready everybody. Everyone gets some money. Draw a card into Villia. Happy I did not. Happy that I didn't do that. We'll raise our threat all the way up to 26. Which, like, if I do top deck something I cannot play, whether it's like a response event or if it's a unique card that already has a copy on the table, it goes to the bottom of my deck, so that is kind of nice. Okay. Okay, so we're kind of in a pickle here, because I do want to. It's like I like these cards; they're just not super useful to me right this second. I guess Gleowine maybe to help me draw into some more cards. Let's see what Villia gets us. Hey, there's a Stargazer. Love it. Love it. And so tip tip from someone who has been burned way too many times. If you can, use Stargazer in the refresh phase or like during the whatever phase after you reveal quest cards, especially if you don't have a Test of Will in your deck, in your hand, because there is that there's a when revealed treachery card that deals 1 damage to each exhausted character, and it's really sad to lose Stargazer like that. So, and I've already used Villia, so there's no use in using it now. Well, I am going to go ahead and use 2 from Elrond to throw a Gleowine onto the table. And then we'll exhaust Gleowine to draw a card. Hey, there's a Test of Will. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah. Love it. Okay. So we'll quest for 4-7. We'll just go at I think 7. We can. We're at 26. We're gonna go 8 with Mendor. So we got 2, 4. Hey, that's exactly the card that I was just talking about. So the Necromancer's Reach. So deal 1 damage to each exhausted character. At this point, I will go ahead and spend a resource to play a Test of Will to cancel that. Just because I don't want to deal with it. Because I'm already kind of damaged, and putting him at only 1 is pretty scary. So we'll hang out. Okay, so I quested for 8. There's 4 threat, which means that we do push. Okay, a fork in the road. As you move through Mirkwood, haunted by spiders, the forest path forks before you. A fork in the road. Unsure of what lies ahead, but spurred by the urgency of your message, you choose a path and proceed. So when you defeat the stage, proceed to one of the 2 stage 3 cards at random. So we will get to choose that. This only has a threshold of 2, and so we will probably push through pretty quickly. But in the meantime, we're not going to engage anyone. We'll go ahead and use Stargazer. We got 5 cards, 2, 3, 4, 5. Interesting. So we got Himomoth. I'm gonna draw into Himomoth. So we're about to draw a card, and then the second card that I place on the top of the deck will be a Villia. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Well, I guess what's nice about here is like we're doing this in like the attack phase or the combat phase or whatever, so we will get to refresh and get to do this again. So we'll get to look at one more card, so maybe this top card is something, but I do like the idea of getting Bofur onto the table. Or Master of the Forge would be nice too. I think I'm gonna probably prioritize Bofur. So, okay, yeah, so that works. So at the end of the round, everyone gets some money. We increase our threat, draw into Himomoth, unexhaust everyone. I know I do this like insanely out of order, but it all gets done. Okay, so top of the round, we will Stargazer again just to look at that fifth card, which is a second copy of Master of the Forge. So I think I'm still gonna go with Bofur here. I'm gonna swap Master of the Forge so we draw into it. Actually, I'm gonna just stack these. No, I'm gonna. Do I want to draw in? Do I want to draw it, or do I want to Villia it? And I think I probably want to Villia it, and I actually want to draw into the Dwarven Tomb. So we'll Villia Bofur, we'll draw into Dwarven Tomb, and then we'll probably Villia Master of the Forge. Whew. Alrighty. So we've got Elrond and Villia to put Bofur into play. And then we will spend one resource off of Elrond to put Himomoth into play. We'll take a look at this top card. Okay, so deal 2 damage to a character currently committed to a quest. That's a little scary. I don't have a cancel, but it's going to be a 2, and so we can quest our way through that pretty easily. I may want to hang out just for a little bit just to clear up this a little bit, but I mean, we are getting to where we can quest hard. I also like was really struggling and trying to figure out if I wanted to put a Faramir in this deck, and I think it probably does have a spot in the deck, just like one copy of Faramir, but alas, it did not make it. I'm just gonna slide these down just a little bit, just so I have a little bit more room. So we may be making some engagement checks here soon. Diamond's Edge, I've been playing this wrong. I've never... Is it not supposed to be in there? Yeah, I think. Yeah, it's supposed to be in there. I think like sometimes you don't play with the gold ringed. These are like the harder cards. But no, yeah, I think he's supposed to be in there. He's nasty. I don't like him being in there. Okay, so we are 2, 4, 6. So we'll just quest for 7. This guy's gonna come in. We may throw the 2. We'll probably throw the 2 damage on Glorfindel from the orcs, or maybe I never drew it. That happens. I mean, it's a thick encounter deck, and you don't ever really go through but half of it, even if that. So okay, so yeah, let's quest for 7. No, you know what? Actually, what we're gonna do, we're gonna quest for 6. I don't know if I want to push yet, do I? I don't know what else I'm like waiting for. I have Forest Snare. I guess maybe like a turn to get some more money on Elrond. But okay, we're gonna quest with Eowyn for 4. We're gonna quest with Beaufort for 2, and so that's gonna get us. Okay, he is in the first scenario. Yeah, that's gonna put us even, and we're gonna throw the 2 damage on Beaufort. So he's coming out, and this is why Himmelmoth is so strong, because it's just like if I just quested with Eowyn, she would be dead. And it's just like he, which probably is not a good strategic move anyways, but like just being able to plan, and that's why Denethor is so good. And Astari can back me up on this. Denethor is probably the strongest hero. That's what you want to do, is antagonize everybody, right? Okay, so 2 damage onto Beaufort from when the orcs revealed. They automatically engage us. They're gonna swing at us for 2. We will go ahead and block with somebody. I don't even know who we're blocking with. I haven't even used Gleowin. I don't know why I'm not. I'm kind of in a pickle here. I definitely want to block. Oh boy. Yeah, Denethor is good. Yeah, role model. Yeah, that's it. Yep. We're just gonna sack Gleowin here. Because I really want to swing back and kill. And that's my only option to do so. So we got 2 shadow effect, he gets +1, and so Gleowin was not gonna survive just a straight up attack. And then we'll swing back with Glorfindel for 3 to take care of the orcs. Okay, we will ready up. Increase our threat to 28. Did I increase my threat last time? I don't think I did. I'm just gonna take me to 29 just to be safe. Cause I thought it was at 27 for 2 rounds. I don't think it mattered, or it doesn't matter right now, but okay. So we will top of the round. Everyone gets some money. Then at this point, I think I'm okay to push. We're gonna draw into Dwarven Tomb, which we will use to go ahead and probably grab. No location cards yet. Yeah, it's been insane. I have seen 1 location, and that's the one that got put into play at the beginning. Denethor can stay in the box for all you care. Really? For like how much like crap we give Denethor, his ability is absurdly strong. But yeah, no, I haven't seen any locations. I was kind of hoping to, because I got Horsey in my hand to take care of him, but nothing yet. Okay, so we drew into Dwarven Tomb. We gave everyone money. We will Stargazer. We got Master of the Forge, Stand and Fight, Master of the Forge, the Minstrel, and ooh, Gandalf. I have sneak attacks. We are going to. Oh man, that's interesting. Denethor is a really good card, but he sits on the bench at it. Do you not like Denethor or something? I don't quite understand. We're gonna throw a Minstrel into play, just for the questing potential, just in case we do draw into the one that needs 10. And then we'll set Gandalf up to be our next Villia, and so we'll draw into Master. Actually, yeah, we'll draw into Stand and Fight, and then we can Villia Gandalf next turn, and hopefully he will be able to push through and kill the Ungula spawn, or help us quest our way into victory. Let's take a look at what we're dealing with. Himmelmoth is going to look. Hey, it's a location. Look at that. So travel, reveal the top card of the encounter deck, and add to the staging area to travel here. But we're going to get a horse into play and not need to worry about it. So actually, that should be fine, because my threat's low enough that Ungula spawn engages at 32, and so we should have enough time to Yeah, we should have enough time to fix ourselves. So yeah, let's go ahead and spend 2 lore resources to put Asphaleth onto Glorfindel to get him ready to use here in a second. Also, the other thing is I really wanted to put a Song of Lore. What is the song that gives, whatever the song is that gives you lore? Song of Wisdom. I think that's another thing that I've been toying with, is getting a fair amount of Song of Wisdom in here, because you are pretty capped on the lore resources you can generate. So what we got there? Okay, so we need to quest for 8, and so we'll go 4 with Aowen. We'll go 3 here, and then we will. So that's up to 7, and then our 8th quest point is going to come from Mr. Mindor himself. So that comes in. We're questing for 8, which means that we place 2 and we're proceeding. Alrighty, let's see which one we get. Good. Top is even, bottom is odds. Even. Oh, hey, look, it's Bjorn's Path. So we're not gonna need to fight the Ungula Spawn. Players cannot defeat the stage while Ungula Spawn is in play. If players defeat the stage, they have won the game. So we have 10 quest points to push through. Sweet. We're not gonna engage anything. We will go ahead and exhaust our horse to throw 2 onto here. Excellent. Forgot to do that, but it didn't really matter. So we'll do that during the combat phase or whatever. It's hilarious. I was like, wait a second, those should be exhausted. Those should always be exhausted. And then yeah, so at the end of the round we'll draw into the stand and fight. Take our threat up to 30. Unexhaust everybody. Pass out some money. Glorfindel's flush over here. Then we're going to draw a card into Gandalf. I thought we set that up so it wasn't Gandalf. Did we not set that up that it wasn't Gandalf? That's fine. Whatever. We can pay for Gandalf straight up, but yeah, I think I put him second. I needed to put him third. That was dumb. That was really dumb. I guess, like... Nah, whatever. Whatever. Okay. So let's see what we're dealing with. Hemamoth is going to come in. It's going to be deal 1 damage to each exhausted character. And so we may not actually care. So let's clear this. So we need to quest for 14. I think we have that fairly easily. We got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14 on the table right there. We don't even need Gandalf, but it's fun to play it. So let's see what Stargazer can get us. Got Master of the Forge, Stand and Fight, Ancient, and a Hasty Stroke. We'll just throw a Master of the Forge onto the table. Go Elrond, throw Master of the Forge onto the table. We'll spend 3, 5 to put Gandalf onto the table, which will allow us to lower a threat, because it's always fun to end with a low threat. Taking me down to 25. And then we'll quest for 4, 6, 8, 12. Don't need to exhaust. 15. Wrong button. That's always good. There you go. 12. 3 more. 15. This will come out. Actually, let me just make sure okay. I'm going to spend, before I do that, I'm going to spend Dwarven Tomb. Spend 1 for Dwarven Tomb to grab a Test of Will from my discard pile. That'll leave Glorfindel with 1. This will come out. I'll just spend the 1 to cancel that when revealed. And then we win. There you go. Passage through Mirkwood. Nobody died, so that's always good. we will we're gonna go to the be right back screen. We will get the journey along the Anduin set up and ready to go just here in a couple minutes. See you all real soon. I miss Lord of the Rings. It's so good. It's so good.